day with him, and then we're gonna get up early in the morning, get on the plane, and head to the meetup. Getting on the interstate right now, but I'm excited. Can't wait to see y'all. So just wanted to let you know, Nana's on her journey, but I love you and can't wait to see y'all. So I'll be taking y'all along. So I'll get back with y'all in a little while. Hello, YouTube fam.
Why does the mommy go wild?
I don't know. You gotta watch out for some poop, okay? Be careful. If anything, I'll wash your shoes, but just...
Are these are new?
Okay.
Are these cow poop?
Yeah, you gotta be careful. Alright guys, we're going to look at the goats for my Nana. SKW lives here, by the way. Look at that big old patty. Hi. That's Dahlia. You want to go in? She likes to be held, you know that? The mommy goat isn't really friendly to her.
Oh no.
No, that one's nice. That's Velma. Look, pet her.
No, how about her? Ew.
Oh, she's peeing. Hi, you want to hold her? No, say cheese. Say cheese.
Cheese.
Oh, you want to try to hold her?
No.
No?
Just come on.
The goat loves you.
Just come on.
Okay. Just careful for the poop. Dahlia likes you.
Now, what was that?
We don't have a name for her yet.
Hang on. Did she grow up?
Throw up? No.
Oh, she has tiny horns.
Tiny horns. All right.
Oh, she has big horns.
So that's Dahlia. And then over here, we got Jack and Boots. They're chilling. Velma is so friendly.
Oh my! She's scared of me.
Yeah.
Can I go up there?
I would not, just because it's a little dirty. There's poop up there. Wow. The mama. Oh my goodness. Well, those are the goats, guys.
What? I can step in here?
Maybe not step in there. These are my green beans. We got tomatoes all over. My garden is definitely thriving.
Can I try to get the two tomatoes?
Of course you can. These are my zucchinis.
Can I step inside here?
Just be careful.
Why?
And then these are my cucumbers and potatoes. I got tomatoes over here, parsley right there, basil. Holy cow, my sweet potatoes. Yep, we're at the airport in Dallas, waiting to go to Arkansas.
Can you send me the...
Good morning. We have landed in Fort Smith. So we are finally here. The plane was a little delayed, but we did make it. So I will catch back with y'all in a little bit when we start at the meetup, I reckon, or somewhere. Anyway, I will carry y'all along after we talk with David and see what's up. Thanks for coming along with us. Well, we have made it to Come On Mountain. We're driving down David's road.
Go, True.
Yeah, right here. It's gonna be nice to see all the improvements. he has made. This road is still bumpy, but it's still pretty out here.
Well, if it ever dries out, I'm not going to run the tractor down here. I'll smooth it out. But right now, I'll just be moving mode.
Abandoned. Look at those pretty rocks we just passed by. He's got some nice boulders out here. Sure would like to have them in my yard. Oh, I hear the goats. Look at the goats. Aren't they so pretty? Oh, listen at them.
Oh, now we got Billy.
Yeah.
Usually they're going to White Rock, the guy that was driving that truck. Yeah. Him and his wife wanted her. I'm like, you
I
can have
gotta
her.
see the goats.
You can freaking have her.
Oh, they hungry. Hey, Coco.
Yep.
Some babies have gotten big. They are hungry, hungry, hungry. Well, that's a big tree. Let's go check out David's kitchen and his bathroom. I haven't seen that since I was here last time. Oh, hi, Domino. Hi, Domino. Hey, darling. Hi, sweet. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Well, come here. Yeah. How you doing? Yeah. Oh, the kitchen looks so good. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah. He got this fixed nice. Yeah. Oh, this is nice. Yeah. There's a tiny house. Listen at me. Here's the cabin. He has did such a good job. In here, I don't know where the lights are in here, but it looks nice. Looks really good. He's did an amazing job. I'm very proud of him.
Hello, Nana.
Hi.
How are you? I'm a viewer of David's, and I watch your channel too. So
And who are you?
I'm Sheila Tubbs.
Hi, Sheila. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, hon.
I've got to figure out who everybody is.
Right. Right.
And I want to see who Auntie Ann is.
See who what?
Auntie Ann is?
Oh, Auntie Ann. She's up there. She was sitting up there beside Mississippi.
Sneaking up behind all that.
No, that's not Auntie Ann. She's sitting up here about 3 Mississippi.
I got their information. I told them
Hi.
Hey, Nona.
Who?
Hey, Nona. I'm here.
She had her back to me. Yes, I did.
What's your name?
She had her back. I was looking for her chains. I can't hear her over
I got you, girl.
Hey, Nona.
Hey, Nona? Yes. Hi, nice to meet you.
Auntie Ann.
This Auntie Ann. Auntie Ann. Oh. Hi, Auntie Ann. Let's see if I can get us.
You gotta get us both in there.
Hi
this is Adrian. This my buddy.
I felt bad.
Yeah, I was looking for your phone. I knew you were sitting over there.
Finally met you.
I know.
Oh.
You know who this is, right? David's mom. No.
We were in your live the other night.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, this is White Rock.
Hi, Sid. I've been wanting to meet you too.
Her name is Jane. Our Nana. There's David out there.
We have to make some adjustments to her bike though.
This is Tara and Jason
Nanas.
from White Rock. White Rock Homestead. Mom.
I recognize you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Learn with Nana.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
crafts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And cooking and baking.
All kinds of good
I
stuff.
like the cooking. She gets pretty crafty on the channel.
Yeah, I look after
Okay.
when my back ain't hurting.
Okay.
And who are y'all?
The Valentines. We just watch all of y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
keep on doing it.
Oh yeah.
And I'll keep trying to get better.
You're doing fine.
Hey.
It's David's mom.
How are you?
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's my boy. He's the one got me into this.
Okay, I have seen your channel before, yeah.
Yeah, he's the one got me here. He said, Mama, you can do this. You need to do it. And then the older one said, yes, Mom. You need to do this with all the recipes and all. When the kids are gone and all. And when you're gone, we need to know. Well, y'all need to pay attention. That's what I've told them for years. Hi.
How you doing, Nana?
How are you, darling? Oh, love your channel.
I'm glad it is you.
Linda Felty, Renegade Ranchita.
Nice to meet you. Pretty face. Why does this thing keep going out on me?
It doesn't sleep out.
We're too far out here.
I made cards.
Oh, she made some cards.
I made cards. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I made
Oh.
All right.
Oh, I love that. Isn't that neat? Y'all look here at the pen. She's fancy too.
It's just some of the things you do that I think, how does she do that?
I'm gonna let y'all talk. I'm gonna go get
Well, the thing
Okay,
of
honey,
it
love you,
is,
darling.
I could do a whole lot more if my back would not give out.
I tell everybody it's like living in a Hallmark movie around here. It's gorgeous.
Look at that lake.
The view's unbelievable.
That's my lake by my house. I mean, I go fishing and I have mountains all around me. It's beautiful. I love it. I found my little piece of paradise.
How'd you find this from Florida?
Actually, Simple Life Reclaiming them found it. I was moving from there to Dallas, and then I was looking in this area in Oklahoma because they moved here. And we met online on the opposite coast and just got a connection. Then we met at a meetup in Oklahoma, and we just, after connecting online, we truly connected in person. And they just moved here, and I just changed my whole life and went to Dallas. And so we both just made huge life changes. And they asked me to come to their place, and they just moved there. In the woods. So me and Levi went. We sat down there in their pond, and I said, this feels like home. 6 months later, I made it happen. And I decided I hated Dallas and didn't want to be there, and a cabin popped up on my Zillow, because I have my Zillow searching, and that's when we come on Mountain right
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Hey, don't worry.
Well,
We got trade?
we got to trade, Tim.
Thank you much. Oh,
Now
Mama,
we
okay.
can get it.
I just realized it's Mama. No, I do now. Yeah.
Hey, this
So,
is
hey,
Nana.
how you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I
Great to have
belong to
you.
that one and that one right there.
If you-
And that's my daughter right there.
Did you see all the work I did on the mountain? Did I do good for you?
You did
I
real
did all. I've been out here
good.
all week.
Yeah, you've been doing all that supervising, hadn't
I
you?
built that door. Right? I did the floor. I got all the stuff
You
on the
did?
top. I did. Yeah.
You did all
Yeah. Every bit of it. He watched paint dry. He sat down and watched paint dry.
Just like I told him.
Really? I didn't see that. I didn't see you in the video though.
He always edits that out. I don't know why he does that. Every time somebody else goes to help him, then the camera battery died.
Right. He's a master with that.
But I tell you what, I love that door. That door is
Him
awesome.
and Levi did a really good job on it.
Yes, they did.
Teamwork, you know.
But it looks awesome.
It's not done. He's gonna do some more trim to it and everything. It's gonna be real. Yeah.
Since I have been here last, it has. Oh my God.
Oh, the grass and it's all clean. Everything's been moved out. All the the lumber.
The
and all
cabin. He has did an amazing job. I am very proud of him.
It's all him. He worked his tail off.
I know. He always does. He's a hard worker. That one right there is a hard worker. And then I got an older son that's a hard worker too. So all the kids are hard workers.
Yes, ma'am.
So I am proud of them. And who's this gentleman over here?
Subscriber. Yeah, it's
The reason we're here.
He works at our local Walmart. And he sees everybody but me. I think he hides.
I seen him one time, and I was just so happened to be.
And that was at a dollar store. That was we was going to the pumpkin patch during Halloween.
And Mel was like, David's on his way. And I'm like, I sat and met him, and I'll stick around.
Yeah. Because he hides from me.
Oh, I see.
He hides from me. And I keep hearing it. You know how they got that Where's Waldo? That's him. I've only found him once.
Very good.
You got to tell me your name again. I told you I was going to forget it, but I got my wife working out.
Nona.
Nona.
Not
My
Nana.
wife Angelica.
Hey, Nona.
Nona.
That's pretty. Yeah. Thank you. A beautiful name.
Rain's going all around us, isn't it?
I know. I was like, I hear it.
Yeah, it's raining over there.
Yeah. So this is beautiful here.
What's your knife?
It's a home. Oh, hey, we used that knife a lot this week.
I bet you did.
Hey, Tim. Did we use a Nona a lot this week?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know what he's saying at first. I was like, why is that? Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Don't worry, I got about 4 review videos.
It's coming along, day by day. Where's your little one at?
She sent me a knife. I named it after her Nona. And I didn't cut it.
Cut like a knife, you know.
Hey, that's a damn good knife, man. That joker, it's small. It doesn't like stab me when I'm bending over and stuff. It hooks right there and it's sharp.
Tell them about your toe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's a nice sheep.
Yeah. But Nona did cut me the first night.
I did, in his toe.
I opened it up and looked at it, checked the sharpness, you know. I was like, oh, that's a cool knife. And I didn't shut it and left it on the bed, went to sleep that night and it stabbed me in the toe.
Oh, Lord.
First night. No, you didn't give me the first night, cut me in the toe.
I'll let you know I'm sharp.
You know, you gotta be sick.
You know I'm a hang, right? Yeah, you know I'm a hang out like a hair in the biscuit. Yeah.
Have a good one.
You too.
Nana, this is Gumby.
Nana, this is David, baby. Nice to meet you.
I think you own him.
We were hoping to meet you. I thought I seen you get out of the truck earlier, and I was like, I don't know if that's her or not, but I think so. And
Tom Ray. Look at this view. It is gorgeous today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, this lake is beautiful. We have so many people here. We're having fun. And I am sitting here with
Eddie McIntyre.
yes, and we're having a good chat.
Amen to that. We're here fellowshipping.
Yeah, we're here fellowshipping. That's right.
That's what this big meeting is, one big fellowship.
It's sure enough. It's just, and it's a beautiful day. Just gorgeous. And then we've got his wife.
Hey, how are y'all? Having a good time here at the meetup, our first time. I'm Debbie McIntyre, and I am from Sneedville, Tennessee.
Valley Blue Mountain Homesteaders Meetup first annual. I need to hear more than that now. Come on. All right, first thing I want to do is give a big shout out to anybody that has had anything to do with setting this up. It is way too many people to go one by one, but I will give a very, very special one to this guy right here. And the one that really runs everything right over there. We have got a packed day for you guys today. For the kiddos, we got a big old bounce house over there. There's only a couple rules to the bounce house. No shoes, no food, and you got to have a good time. Nothing in your pockets. Nothing in your pocket. Oh, I got stuff in my pockets. Alrighty, raffles. We got a 50-50.
Okay, look who I have with me.
I'm Sherry Udell.
This is one of my subscribers, and I am so happy I got to meet her. She has came to see me, and we're at the meetup, and we are so happy. And she brought me that recipe. It's so special.
Well, you have to try it and tell me what you think. You have to just try it and let me know what you think.
I will do that. I will video it and tell y'all about it.
Okay.
All right. Jacqueline, Miss Sherry's granddaughter. Look how cute she is. I think she's cute as a button. And look at all the unicorns on her dress. Her lip top. It is just so cute.
Over here, Grandma.
Y'all see it?
He was going to the line.
Okay. We have
a red one of those in my house.
We have a lot of people here. A lot of people have been coming in, and we're fixing lunch. So we'll check back with you in a little while.
Who wants to hit me?
You want to hit Gary?
You can't hit me. All right, y'all. Here we go.
No mercy.
You can't get me.
You can't get me.
Tim's in his camper.
Mike.
Let Nana in.
Let him come first.
Oh, man. I don't.
Yeah! Put that one on his head. Yeah!
Shit,
Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. All right, let Nana come through.
Nana.
Here you go.
Got two more for real.
I'm sorry.
It don't matter if someone knocks shit out of Gary.
All right.
How did it get in?
We got 4 more for Gary.
Hi,
Everybody else?
I'll take one of them. I've always wanted to do this.
We got 7 pies left on Gary. 7
That's a
pies
happy
for
mama
Gary.
right there. Oh, no, baby boo. Drew's dog.
How do I set it off?
Hit that button.
Hit the button.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, Nana loved that one.
I got Danny in doing that.
Gary?
You need to see this in Papa's.
Mama B's on it.
You guys want to rinse off?
Go for it.
I don't know if I want that actually. Hey, Drew.
Where's Gumby?
Send that to you.
Okay.
Hey, it's gonna be the GFI over there.
Oh, sorry.
I already paid for David in the tank.
Oh, David, you look so good. You want to say something to the camera?
Well, see what happened was. I love you, Mom.
You got what?
Mike Annabore went ahead and put $9.99 pie for Tim in the face.
All right, so 2 pies for Tim.
2 sets on David.
All right.
What?
All right, hold on, what's up?
He's got 2 on David.
Yep, he's paid. Oh yeah, that's right. He's paid, and then we got Learn with Nana, and then we're wrapping it up with David. After Nana, no more for David. Go Nana! Nana, you get to throw from right here.
You get to throw from anywhere you want.
Hey, no, you gotta throw.
Back up, bud. Huh? No, it's just somebody else's camera, bud. Here, back up. I'm filming. Back up. Let him get back up, Nana. Let him get back up.
Alright, she's coming to YouTube University.
Tim, good news. Woo! Good job, Nana. Hold on. No, you gotta.
I'm gonna get a video.
Anthony's up next. Anthony.
Jay, can you run up and figure out how to turn this hose on? Look at Drew still.
Let's get real for game.
Omega, I'll give you $1 million if you go over to watch the okay? Omega, I'll give you Omega, if you press the button, you'll
Your boys are so handsome and adorable.
Thank you. Sit down, baby.
Omega, I'll give you
Wait till somebody said it.
If you touch the black button, you'll get $1 million and you'll get a bunch of candy.
Everybody with a camera going. They eat and they happy with those goats. Oh, they're gonna fight. What are you doing fighting with them? Let them eat too. Watch Ray go down there with the e-bike. Here come Uber. I hear Uber coming. I thought you'd ride the bike. Oh, I thought you were going to come back with it. Oh, look at the baby. The baby laying down. She said, get up. I got too close to her. Her so cute. Her got full. I don't know if it's a her or he. David's pulling the Jeep to the boneyard. Jeep is not running. All right, we're here at Mount Magazine at one of the outlooks, and it is looking very pretty. Last time I was here was in August, and And now I'm here in May. But it is still gorgeous. A little hazy out here, but you know, we're up top here. But it is still just as gorgeous as ever. Lake down there, mountains. We're gonna go up and eat at Mountain Magazine.
Oh, your pipe? That mountain is okay.
Beautiful. See if I can get my kids to turn around and let me get them on camera. Say hi.
Hello.
There's cmon over there. My oldest son and my beautiful daughter. I'm so proud of my kids. We're having a wonderful time. I'll check back with y'all in a little while.
Yeah, see, I wanted to jump off here and fly to Cmon Mountain. But then I read up there, which I'll show y'all.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Like other states. What? Yeah, the distance is crazy and the heights are crazy. I never knew. I thought maybe we could make it on my mountain.
What, on a hang glider?
Yeah.
What the heck?
That right here. Whoosh. You go.
I would do that on a hang glider.
Your hang glide days might be about behind you, Mom.
Why? What's wrong with a hang glider?
Well, you gotta land that on there. You gotta do it with your feet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you might have to get one of them buggy ones with the wheels with the
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that
what kind is that?
That's it's a version of hang gliding.
Well, see, I could do that.
Yep.
That would be fun.
Back up one. You start rolling down there, you're on your own. I ain't going with you.
Better see you at the bottom.
Yeah. I still got some things I'd like to do.
You know, I'm a daredevil now.
Learn with Nana's camera. We left her in the truck. It's a little bit of a hike. Alright, anyways, this little amphitheater. We done broke into a wedding.
That's Mountain Magazine over there?
Yep.
And this lake here is called
Blue Mountain Lake.
Blue Mountain Lake.
Very pretty.
This is gorgeous. Oh my goodness.
You took us to some of the far end over there?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, like right there, the first two stops were over here on this side.
Uh-huh.
And then the amphitheater and stuff is over here on this side.
Okay.
And then when I said look on the other side, you know, that'd be on the back side of the mountain. There's more views there, but they're a little bit trickier to get to, so I didn't.
Nice. The water looks so peaceful, right?
Yeah. And you and Ray rode down there?
Yeah. Yeah, we brought the e-bikes over here.
Turn around a little thing.
Okay. Ignore everything that you have read. It is not accurate at all. Okay. So we are not a Western brothel at all whatsoever. We actually are just a turn of the century Prohibition era, basically, and then well into the 1930s, and then well into the 1940s during World War II. We were open during both World Wars and were pretty active during that time period. You went through two sets of madams. Gloria Ziegler, who was the first madam of the house, she actually first constructed the property in 1898 with a loan she'd taken out from the bank president for $5,000, not $3,000. She actually was able to pay that back in 18 months when she first opened in 1903. She retired as a madam in 1911, and then from there, she actually decided to become a farmer on Missouri property that she purchased previously. But that's actually a very common thing for madams to do. I've read a couple of books about madams actually purchasing farmland after the fact, which I thought was quite interesting. But Bertha Dean was the second madam of the house, and she was here actually for the longest period of time. So Bertha started running the property in 1911 as the madam of the house, and then she ran the property up until 1948. And then she passed away within that same year, and then willed it to a gentleman named Jules Bartholomew. Jules was here from 1948, just living here at his private residency up until 1962. We know that he was here previously. We're not entirely sure what he was doing. We know that probably he had a romantic relationship with Bertha for a little bit of time, but we're not entirely sure what his role was. He could have been security, could have been maintenance, maybe a little bit of both. We know that he was also a glass cutter at the Harding Glass Factory, which wasn't too far away from here. But when he passed away, he kind of put the house in a little bit of a sticky situation because he willed it to his brother in Ohio. Brother in Ohio wanted nothing to do with the former brothel in Fort Smith. They were French Catholic, so I can only imagine as to why. And essentially, they gave it to the city. City put it up for sale, auctioned off everything in the house, down to the furniture. Nothing is original to the house, which hurts my heart. The hardwood flooring is covered by this carpeting because the house was left in really bad shape. The records that are on the walls, those were found here in the house. Stained glass is not original to the house at all. Pocket doors are original to the house, and the light fixtures are on the walls along with the transom windows down here. The ones on the ceilings were added into the house when this was a restaurant in the 1980s. They decided to go with the old Western brothel motif. I just don't think they had a great comprehension on actual time periods, which is why they went with the old Western theme. They just assumed due to the close proximity to Judge Parker's chambers that this probably was an old Western brothel. Not the case at all. But the period furniture is actually time period accurate, which is awesome. The cabinet patrol is kind of a good example as to what maybe the madam of the gramophones were pretty popular down here at the time. There was a fire that had happened in 1910. One of the things that was recovered out of one of the brothels that burned was a gramophone. Actually, it was able to withstand the flames, which is pretty cool. But everything you're going to see in cases will be from private collections, donations, or the Fort Smith Museum of History. And then when everybody's ready, I can take us into the madam's quarters. And then did y'all want to jump in on the tour that I'm giving right now? Sure.
I keep bumping in that door.
Turn that out.
So this is the madam's quarters in here. The madam would have actually resided and have lived in the same place. We weren't just allowed to walk into our establishment as well. Brothels were seen at one point as a social necessary evil. That's what they called it. They actually decided on turning this into a legal red light district in 1907, and that lasted up until around 1924. The gentleman that would have come in here would have actually had to provide a letter of recommendation, telegram, or a phone call. They couldn't just walk right on in. Maybe even a calling card potentially would have been something we would have had to provide. The inside doors would have been locked. That was just a safety thing for the madam, and also a way if your house is getting raided for whatever reason. It's just an extra barrier that the police kind of have to jump through. They also would have had to have not been law enforcement, drunk and disorderly. You couldn't be a religious preacher. You also couldn't really be in debt to anybody, and you couldn't be sick with any venereal diseases. She would actually check to make sure that you weren't sick with anything, even if you claimed that you weren't. If she felt in her gut that that was the case, typically she might ask you to actually drop your pants, show your hands, variety of different things to check for them. But if she deemed you fit, you would have gotten your tokens. And at the turn of the century, the United States adopted a token system here, not just for the brothels, but also for other establishments. So you have the milkman using them, you have the post office using them, you have a variety of people using them. And it's just a way to cut down on thievery within your business, and also that your business doesn't take itself elsewhere and you lose out on bringing money into your establishment. These ladies would have collected their tokens at the end of the month and turned them into the madam. The token system was kind of abolished in the United States due to World War I. We needed that material for basically the war effort. And we don't know what their cut would have been. So we think it could be either 1/3, 3/4, or a half. It just depended on what was being debated between the lady and the madam, typically, or if there was just a standing fee that she had within the house that she had to take out of the lady's wages. We also don't know how much they charged here. I know it was stated online, 3 tokens to the house. Not true at all. We don't know how many tokens were used to a transaction. We also don't know how much each token was worth. It could be between $3 to $10, all the way up to $250 to $500, depending on the service that you're asking for. That's on top of gambling, drinking, smoking, and anything else that you wanted to do that was an additional fee in the social parlors.
Cool.
Does anybody have any questions? Okay, awesome. I could take you guys into the second parlor over here. So, this is actually considered social parlor.
It is.
If you notice at one of the other older Victorian homes here in Fort Smith, right now, so notice that their parlors are set up a little bit differently than ours. It's a private residence. You could tell that with the construction of the house, it was actually built to be a brothel. The parlors are big, and they are one right after the other. Social parlors in a private residency are kind of across from each other with the staircase in the center and the foyer, obviously. In this case here, we have some stuff on loan from the Fort Smith Museum of History, private collections, donations, and one of the things that I donated to the house is actually here in the case, which is pretty cool. It is a phone book from 1941, since we were active during that time period. I came across this phone book in one of the antique shops here in town, and I opened it up and I found our madam. She's listed as a rooming house. She is not listed in any other fashion, but what's interesting is that she's listed under private residencies, not businesses. And the other brothel that was here at the time is Ella Scott's house. Her last standing competition was also listed as a tavern. Nice. So we have that in green right there. We also have some gentlemen's items over here. And then over here, we have a condom case from 1920. People always ask me what type of contraception did they have, and these ladies were pretty creative before this was readily available. It was actually illegal at one point in time in the United States to market birth control to married couples because you're going against God's will and the mindset of a judge from the 1920s. You're not being fruitful and multiplying. And it was illegal up until around 1963 when Griswold versus Connecticut was decided upon to market birth control publicly to everybody. Men typically wouldn't have purchased this because it was seen as a disease preventative, not necessarily contraception, but I can guarantee you that these ladies probably invested in some of these. We also have contraception in a different aspect over here. It is an ovarian substance. It is derived from pig and hog ovaries. You'd actually take it, it was in a capsule form, and it was for all different types of uterine pain that a lady might be having. Endometriosis, PCOS, fibroids, anything that would have been causing pain, but since it's derived from natural estrogen, it stops your monthly cycle the more times that you take it. So these ladies started using it as a form of contraception. They also probably would have used Lysol at one point. I don't have any old advertisements to put in here, but yes, they did market Lysol as a feminine hygiene product. They also market it as a birth control preventative, which is nuts for me to think about. I've seen some of these advertisements. They're absolutely horrendous and very misogynistic because they didn't understand how a woman's monthly cycle worked. They also didn't understand that if you screw too much with your pH level, it can cause serious problems. Around 9 women in the United States died of uterine irrigation from taking Lysol. And they also had thousands of women get poisoned from taking it as well. Yeah. We also have over here a pathological report from 1914. Since prostitution was legal here from 1907 to 1924, they actually required the ladies to have 2 health examinations a month. That would have cost you $5 every single time you got it done in order to receive a business license. This was not typically too much of a common practice in other places, but here it typically was. However, the terminology really varies because these ladies are referred to as inmates on their business licenses. They are not referred to as prostitutes. They were restricted to the row, which is why they were referred to as such. But if you were actually sick with something, you were denied a business license. So you would have been denied a business license for syphilis, tuberculosis, scarlet fever, a variety of different things. And the reason why we know that is because Bertha, our second madam of the house, was denied a business license in 1907 for contracting syphilis. So in order to actually be able to work again, did that mean that diseases were not being spread here? Absolutely not. They thought that if you were being treated for something like syphilis that you would just stop spreading it. That is not how germs fill in. So it takes a little bit of time to get there, and around 1944 penicillin becomes readily available to the public. Nice. Yeah. Not really a fun time for medicine, I will say that. So very happy we have modern medicine today. And then over here we have a photo of a fire that happened in January of 1910. So y'all are welcome to come and take a look at it. We have 2 young ladies that are hiding here on the opposite side of an 8-foot fence. Just to let y'all know, pocket doors are 8.5 feet. That is a pretty tall fence if you take off about ½ an inch. They put the fence up in 1907. We have no idea when it came down, just so people in town didn't have to look at the row. And these 2 ladies here are hiding because they'll be arrested due to their inmate status. They have to be on the opposite side of the fence with permission from the chief of police. So even though their houses are burning to the ground and they could die, it doesn't matter. You're still not allowed on the opposite side of that fence. Wow. Think of it this way though, women can't have bank accounts in their own name. Some places we can't even own property. We also don't have the ability to vote, and we are seen as our husband's property on tax forms still. This is safer for a woman to work in than a factory. In a factory, you have absolutely no laws on your side, no labor protections whatsoever, and women are dying left and right due to malfunctions that happen. Whether that be having your scalp ripped off in a mill, licking radium-infused paint off of paintbrushes, to paint watch dials during World War I. There's a variety of different things that are working against women in the United States during this time period. And then they also tried to crack down on immigrant women working here in the United States because they thought that no immigrant woman would fall into the profession of prostitution unless she was forced to, instead of maybe thinking, hey, we should give them the ability to own property, work, gain an education, have a little bit more financial independence. Then maybe they won't fall into that profession. They just decided to make it illegal for immigrant women to work in the United States, I believe up to 3 months of them being here. But they would fall into the profession anyway because they needed money for multiple different reasons. Yeah. We have ladies' items in this case over here. We have shoes on display. People love to comment on how tiny the shoes are, but it is important to know that a lot of people were malnourished back then, but also the average ages of a prostitute really varied all throughout the country. I have seen as young as 8, 12, and then average ages at the turn of the century are between 16 to 24 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
There's no such thing as public school, no labor laws or protections. There's a variety of different things that are working against women, especially young girls, and a lot of times mothers would either drop their daughter off at a brothel and hope to God that the man takes them in, or marry them off to a man that could be 5 times their age.
Goodness.
So when you hear people getting married at 12, it's not that uncommon. And then over here, we have Pearl Star. She is the daughter of Fell Star, the infamous horse thief, but I don't like to on her mother too much because her mother has her own little spotlight here in town. She was a famous madam that was down here though, and this is a business license from her brothel. And you can see that it says inmate actually here on the license. And then this is Pearl's house number. And then this is the ordinance that actually criminalized prostitution. And what's interesting is that here in Fort Smith, the Ku Klux Klan supposedly took office in 1921. So it was the Klan, the Christian Women's Temperance Union, and the suffragettes were all trying to target houses like this to get rid of what they referred to as vice, gambling, alcohol, and prostitution. When the Klan took office here, all of a sudden, certain things started to become illegal. And then in 1924, prostitution is criminalized, and the gentleman that the Klan put into office is still the mayor here in town. But it's interesting, it says illicit sexual intercourse on the document, not prostitution. So you could be having an affair with somebody and be tried under that law. And then these are some ladies that might have lived and worked down here. You know that this is Bertha and her husband. Yeah, she was married. As far as we know, they didn't have children. I don't think she could because she had syphilis and that attacks her reproductive organs. But Bertha was the second madam, and her nickname was Big Bertha. What's interesting in this marriage is that the property is in her name, the business is in her name. She's the one handling all of the finances. He's just kind of there. I like to refer to them as Barbie and Ken because Barbie has the dream house, Barbie has the car, Barbie has everything, and then Ken he's existing. But he definitely helped out. We have evidence that the automobile that they had, and we actually have a photo of the car, I can't put it on display, but I've seen it. They had a Ford Model T, which is pretty cool. One of the newer versions when it first came out. It's in his name, so he was the one obviously driving it. But he died in 1922 from tuberculosis, unfortunately. But apparently she never remarried, and she was incredibly heartbroken over the loss of her husband. And she's buried in our national cemetery. Oh, okay. So if y'all ever get a chance to go over there and say hello, definitely do. She has one of the largest tombstones out of the entire cemetery. Wow. So she pumped a lot of money into making sure that she lived up to her nickname in the afterlife. Her nickname being Big Bertha, although she's around probably 5 foot. Their plot is very tiny, I will say that. But I think that she actually got her nickname, my theory is from the howitzer gun that was used during World War I. That's where the stereotype and the nickname of Big Bertha comes from. So that's my hunch. And then over here we have some other photos. Bertha is up there with a cigarette in her mouth, smoking during a time period where women could not actually be seen smoking. It was considered too improper and too impolite. And in some places illegal.
Bertha was a rebel.
Yeah. She took the city to court and appealed and won in court against them. And she got arrested for possession of whiskey in 1924. It was a $125 fine.
Wow.
that's around, I did the math on it, it's like around between $845 to $864, and she paid it outright. Yeah, she definitely didn't take crap from anybody going across. And definitely probably a very well connected woman too, because her brother-in-law was also a fire chief in town, so definitely not a woman I'd want to cross. And then this is what we refer to as the day room, but it was 3 separate rooms back in the day. So this over here was the dining room. Over here was the kitchen, or social parlor was over here. Very similar to the ones that would have been in there. The only reason why it's no longer a social parlor is because when this was a restaurant in the 1980s, they turned this into the kitchen. So they knocked down the walls over here. But actually brothels back in the day, especially at the turn of the century, would typically have not have had a bar. And that is because of all that moral purity I was talking about previously. That started well after the Civil War, but it really gained momentum at the turn of the century. Going to the bar was seen as a poor people activity. So the rich people don't want to be with the peasants, even though they probably were the ones employing them, making sure that they had, somewhat of a roof over their heads. So going to a bar was just seen as like not really something that a wealthy man would want to do. We do know champagne was probably here, and then also wine at most was probably served here. And then as we got into the era of Prohibition, since champagne and wine were probably a little bit more difficult to come by, we started to see whiskey, moonshine, and a bunch of other different drinks. It's also where we get the modern day cocktail, which is pretty cool. We also know that bootleggers were down here as early as 1907, so Prohibition. So for all the ladies in the room, wearing makeup back in the day was considered really taboo and inappropriate. You could not be seen wearing any form of makeup in public. You would have been regarded as a painted lady, even if you weren't a prostitute, which is where that term actually comes from. Also, if you had loose hair, it meant that you had loose morals. You had to have your hair high and tight out of your face. You also had to wear a hat and gloves everywhere you went to. The glove thing I don't really, not necessarily hate. The hat thing's a little too much for me, but the glove thing was actually something for germs, and they just made them all nice and pretty so women didn't have to worry about wearing these really ugly rubber gloves everywhere, so they just decided to make metal leather and really nice fabrics, and some ladies even crocheted gloves. I have a pair of crocheted gloves, and they're really beautiful and very well done, but I just can't imagine having to wear them every single day of the week, even in the humidity that we have down here. But if you want to see what women's lingerie was like back in the day, this is over here. This is the Victoria's Secret from back then, and the Amazon from back then where you just ordered stuff out of a catalog. You would be wearing 7 layers of underwear, including a corset every single day of the week. Wow. Corsets get such a bad rap, and it pisses me off a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, because we see Bridgerton, and I love Bridgerton, and I love Marie Antoinette and all of those really awesome movies, but at the same time, it's not historically accurate to what corsets were meant for. They were meant for evenly distributing the weight of your petticoats and providing stability for your garment. They were not meant to restrict you to the point where you could not physically breathe. Women were actually very upset when they had to start rationing corset wearing because they just liked the idea of having one stability garment put in place. We also are seeing so many layers to protect your outer garments. You can't go to the laundromat and wash your clothing. You don't have a washer and dryer readily available. It was a way to make sure that your clothing lasted longer. And the cotton that we have today is not the same cotton that was back then. I've handled antique garments. They're very lightweight. They're almost made of a different material than the traditional polyester cotton that we have today. It's all natural fiber. It has no stretch to it at all whatsoever, but it's lightweight and it's not too heavy, and maybe you restrict yourself to only wearing one petticoat during that time period if it was too hot. And you had different types of corsets. You had your maternity corset for your baby bump, which really wasn't too bad. You could actually add extra padding on your lower back to help you with a little bit, distributing the weight of the heaviness of having a baby bump. You also have one for exercise, which was wearing basically what we call a bicycle corset, because that was the only suitable form of exercise for women back then, besides riding a horse, which is a little silly to me. We also have one for hot Arkansas days that would have been made out of a netting instead of a traditional cotton, and then obviously your fancier corsets, which you would see here. And then we also have good housekeeping too, which is awesome. So it's been in print for quite some time, and our cabinet Victrola is actually being advertised in this magazine, which is awesome. So we were able to see that it was going for $250 back then in 1909. Well, they had payment plans. They had Florida back then. A little bit different, but You could actually just mail it in. And what's awesome too is that with your $1 subscription back then, you get all these freebies. So I guess a lot of companies were just starting to figure out what they were trying to sell. And one of them was crackers. I think Nabisco's in there. There's a couple of other companies that I was recognizing, but other ones I was like, I really don't recognize them at all whatsoever. But yeah, there was a lot of freebies and free samples, which I thought was interesting. And then this is an Edwardian lingerie dress. This is casual wear for back in the day. Women couldn't wear pants legally in the United States until 1923. So everybody in here who's wearing pants or shorts, be thankful that we can wear pants now freely and not have to worry about being scrutinized. It was seen as immoral to wear pants in public as a woman because you're showing off too much of your figure. Which, to me, a dress shows off more. That's just my opinion, but yeah. And bathing suits, too, were also regulated as well. So think about that when you're going to the beach this summer or laying out by the pool. If you were wearing that bathing suit probably in the 1920s, you'd be arrested, thrown in jail, or have to pay a $100 fine. They'd have morality police walking around and would actually force women to stand up and measure their bathing suit to make sure that it wasn't 6 inches above the knee or too high or too tight.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I have actually seen photos of women going after police officers, like full on attacking them as they're trying to arrest them because they don't want to go to jail. Because it's ridiculous that they're being arrested for wearing a bathing suit that looks like a nightgown today. And then this is the case all the men in the house tend to gravitate to when they come in here. This is our antique firearm case. This was donated by a gentleman whose relative was a marshal. But it's kind of a good example as to what these ladies might have been carrying on them. I can guarantee you Bertha had a shotgun somewhere. She had to have some form of protection, maybe a handgun. We have military documents pertaining to the 2 gentlemen that were here in the house. Max served during the Spanish-American War and then Jules World War I. He I feel absolutely awful for. He fought in one of the deadliest campaigns that the United States participated in during World War I. He saw 27,000 men die in a trench right in front of him. Wow. That was during a war where we actually had tanks, artillery, and a bunch of other forms of modern warfare that we still use today being used for the first time. We had no rules of engagement either during this war, so this was a lot more gruesome. And if anybody has any interest in World War history, you'll know how awful that war was in particular. But he probably spoke French as he immigrated here from France, and he was 6 foot. So I don't know about you guys, but if I were German on the opposite side of that trench and I saw a 6 foot angry Midwestern Frenchman running towards me, I would not want to be on the opposite side of that. And then, is everybody ready to go upstairs?
Oh, those are pretty glasses.
So over here we have an example of what a room might have looked like in the 1910s. So the 1910s, the Edwardian period, thing, Titanic, big hats, all of that. The ladies would have had to have used a chamber pot typically between each client because you can't run downstairs in all those layers in underwear to use the bathroom. Contrary to popular belief, you're not walking downstairs in your underwear either. You're wearing a full evening gown with all of those layers, and typically you're pretty much covered up. No ankles are being shown, no shoulders are being shown, no excessive cleavage is really being shown during that time period. You're also going to house like this, because like I said, you have a laundry service available. And you could say no to a transaction if that gentleman was sick with something or imposing a threat on your life. And then cleaning up obviously was something they did too. But that just means soap and water, not antiseptics or anything.
Use the Lysol.
Yeah, that too, probably.
Like a horse bath.
Kind of, yeah. It was actually more so just vaginal hygiene products typically. I would not want to use anything that they had back then because some of them were also infused with radium. They thought radium was this cure-all because it was helping people with cancer treatments, and yeah, they just put it in everything: water, food, yeah, makeup, hair products. Send me your water.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no thank you. I'm not doing any of that.
Fun fact, Red 40 was actually taken out because it was causing allergies, and now it's in her food. It's like, I love Twizzlers. Never had Twizzlers, I eat it. I just saying.
It's actually not on the Las Vegas Strip. That's actually a very common misconception. It's actually outside of the Las Vegas Strip. and it has to be a regulated brothel. So I actually am friendly with a couple of ladies that work out of those houses, because we're gonna have to tie this back into modern day when this becomes a museum, and trying to get their viewpoint and what it's like for them has been incredibly helpful. And a lot of them are actually college educated women who are doing research while they're working there. One lady's working on her master's thesis in psychology, and she's doing it on working as a lady in a house like that. And I was like, that's an interesting way to get information for your thesis, but those are really the only places where it's illegal. Well, legal in the United States, and then obviously outside of that, it's very, very much illegal. But we have international visitors come in here. Like I was telling them, I had somebody come in from Amsterdam last week. They have one of the biggest legal red light districts in the world. It's very difficult for them to wrap their head around the idea of this profession not being legal. They're just so used to it. That's crazy. So they can have 8 and 10-year-olds.